The last time on the legal brief, we covered the 5 rules of how to respond when you're pulled over by the police on a traffic stop. One possible way to avoid the stop altogether is to don't ride dirty. Now, I'm sure that many of you have heard this song before or are familiar with the phrase riding dirty. For those who are not, the phrase refers to when you drive a vehicle with any form of illegality, like driving with expired or suspended or revoked license, or when you drive without a valid registration, expired inspection, or whenever your vehicle's equipment is not working properly. So I'm going to get a little bit personal here and ask you, have you ever been riding dirty before? Be honest, because I know I have. Man, I've heard those sounds and seen those lights in the rearview mirror of my Hummer more times than I care to remember. And that's because, truth be told, in the last few years that I owned that Hummer, the H3 had become a hoopty. I don't have time to explain to you what a hoopty is. Look it up for yourself. What I can tell you is that I was getting stopped not because the cops were just harassing me, but because in the last few years that I owned that Hummer, every time that it rained, every part of that Hummer would leak from the sunroof to the rear brake light. And when that rain got in those rear brake lights, they would go out, the police would stop me, I'd go to the store because New York state law gives you 24 hours to replace defective equipment. I'd replace the bulbs, it would rain again, cops would stop me again, I'd replace the bulbs, and the whole cycle would just repeat itself over and over and over again. You can imagine how frustrated I was. So what did I do? I flew to Atlanta, Georgia, bought a rust-free car. Now, at that point, you would have thought my days of riding dirty would be over. Not so fast. You see, COVID had come along, and it brought the Department of Motor Vehicles operations almost to a complete stop. That has meant the Department of Motor Vehicles is telling people that they should anticipate delays of up to 9 weeks before you get your new plates or before you can update or renew your registration. So that means my nice new vehicle, without a single leak in it, doesn't have a single license plate on it. So now, quite naturally, you're asking, Van White, are you driving dirty again? Thankfully, the answer to that question is no. Because on March the 20th, 2020, because of COVID, Governor Andrew Cuomo temporarily suspended all those vehicle and traffic laws, which basically require us to have current driver's licenses and vehicle registrations. So, if you were out there wondering whether you could be ticketed for not having plates or for not having renewed your registration or license during this COVID crisis, so now you know. For the legal brief, this is Van White.